Hello, Professor. Today, our group would like to present about the standard cost and variance analysis. And my name is Nattapat Yongcharoenchaisit.
My name is Kanlaya Ouamchoey.
My name is Phutthida Rakthung.
My name is Thanyapha Suphaoakkharanuwat.
My name is Thitiporn Daentrairat.
My name is Chutipong Chotpipat.
My name is Chonthicha Wungsang.
My name is Nattharin Kaewsonthi.
My name is Natthida.
Okay, so this is our members, and let's move to the first part, understanding the topic.
Okay, for first part, what is standard costing? Standard costing is a system where a company sets expected costs for material, labor, and overhead. That's a standard cost acts as a benchmark to check whether operations are running as planned. For example, if one bottle of juice is expected to cost 20 baht, but the actual cost is 25 baht, it shows something went wrong. Perhaps material were pricier or production took longer. Next question is, why do companies compare standard cost and actual cost? They compare this cost to measure performance and identify inefficient if actual cost is higher than the standard. It shows overspending. If it is lower, it means resources waste using efficiently. This helps managers detect problem early and take action to reduce waste or improve production. Okay, next.
Okay, let's talk about what a variance is. A variance simply means the difference between a standard cost, what we expect to spend, and the actual cost, what we really spend. There are two main types of variances. The first one is a favorable variance or F variance. This happens when the actual cost is less than the standard cost. In other words, we spend less than expect, which increase the company's profits. And the second one, unfavorable variance or U variance. This occurs when the actual cost is greater than the standard cost. That means we spend more than expect, which reduce the company profits. Let's move on to the next part.
Okay, for the next part is about the case study of Bright Shoes Factory. So this is the case study that we have over here, and this is the instruction that we have to do. So after we calculate everything, it's gonna show this. So we are breaking down the performance of Bright Shoes Factory for the month of August. Despite producing exactly the 1,000 pairs of shoes they planned for, and the factory experienced significant cost overruns. And our task is to investigate where these extra costs came from and using variance analysis. So we have calculated 6 key variances, and as you can see from the U for unfavorable in every column, so costs were higher than expected across the board. And let's dive into the details. First up, we're gonna explain what happened with our materials.
Okay, so the story with material is a double whammy. We have two problems, price and quantity. The first one is material price variance. This tells us if we paid more or less for our material than planned. Our standard cost was 10 per kilogram, but we actually paid 12. We used 2,300 kilogram for the production. The calculation is 10 to 12 by 2,300 kilogram equal minus 4,600. This is a clear 4,600 unfavorable variance. We simply paid too much for every kilogram of material we bought. The second, the material quantity variance. This measures how efficiently we use the materials. The standards allow for 2 kilogram per pair. So for 1,000 pairs, we should have used only 2,000 kilogram, but we actually use is 2,300 kilogram. The calculate is 2,000 kilogram minus 2,300 kilogram by 10 equal minus 3,000. This is another 3,000 unfavorable variance. We wasted 300 kilogram of material compared to the standards. So in summary, we paid more for our materials and then we use more of them than we should have. This combined unfavorable variance of 7,600 is a major area of concern. So I'll back to my friend.
Okay, so a serious issue indeed. So both in purchasing on the factory floor. Next, let's hear about our labor cost.
So similar to material out labor cost where heat from both sides, the wage rate and efficiency. For the labor rate variance, this check if we paid our worker a higher hourly rate than budget. The standard rate was $15 per hour, but the actual rate was $16 with 1,800 hour work. The calculate is $15 minus $16 multiplied with 1,800 hour equal minus $1,800. This is at $1,800 unfavorable variance. We paid more per hour for labor than we planned. Second and more significantly is labor efficiency variance. This shows whether our workforce was productive. The standard time to make 1,000 pair is 1,500 hours. However, it actually took 1,800 hours. The calculate is 1,500 hours minus 1,800 hours multiplied with $15 equal minus $4,500. This is a substantial $4,500 unfavorable variance. It took our worker 300 hours longer than it should have to complete the job. So we paid more per hour and our workers were late, leading to a total labor overhead of $6,300.
So incredible. So higher wages and lower productivity. Finally, let's turn to like inefficiency impact our overheads.
So variable overhead costs are the type to the variable hour. So it's not the supply that the hour problem, here the mirror that the labor issue. First, the variable overhead, the spending, the variance. This tell us if the actual cost per the labor hour for the overhead was the higher than the standard. The standard list was the $5 per hour, but the actual rate was the $5.50. The calculation is the $5 minus the $5.50. Then we multiply the 1,800 hour. Its total is the minus the $900. This is the $900, the unfavorable various thing like the indirect the supply or the utility cost more per the hour than we the budget for. And the second, the variable overhead, the efficiency, the variance is the directly linked to the labor, the efficiency, the problem. That we just explained because the variable overhead is the applied weight on the labor. However, when the labor is the inefficient, we use more the overhead. However, the calculation use the same hour as the labor efficiency, the variance, but the applied the overhead rate is 1,500. However, minus the 1,800. However, then we multiply the $5 is the total is minus $1,500. This is $1,500 unfavorable variance. It's important to note that this the variance is about the cost of the overhead, but the inefficient use of the due to the extra labor hour. So we spend more on the overhead per hour and we use more the overhead hour due to the inefficiency.
Okay, so excellent summary. So let's bring it all together. The Bright Shoes factory had a perfect month in terms of the output, but disastrous one in terms of the cost control, but every single variance was unfavorable. So we overspent on materials due to higher purchase prices and vessel usage, and we overspent on labor due to higher wage rates and significant inefficiency. And this labor inefficiency then flow through to create a further overruns in variable overhead. So the total unfavorable variance amount to $4,600 plus $3,000 plus $1,800 plus $4,500 plus $900 plus $1,500. So the total is equal to $16,300. Management needs to investigate why we paid more for materials and labor and why our material usage was so high, and most critically, and why it took so many more hours to produce the shoes than planned. So this level of across the board variance suggests deep-seated operational issues that need immediate attention. So let's move to the next part.
Okay, let's start with the last part. Explanation and discussion material price variance. With its unfavorable, the factory paid $12 per kilogram instead of the standard $10. This happened because raw material price increased, and in addition, a large order required buying from a more expensive supplier. As a result, the material cost ended up higher than expected. Next is the material quantity variant, also unfavorable. The factory used 2.3 kg per pair instead of the standard 2.00 kg. This may be due to poor quality material, unskilled worker, or faulty machinery. Because of this, more material we reuse than planned, increasing the overall cost. Next is the labor rate variant is unfavorable as well. The factory pays $16 per hour instead of $15. This could be because higher paid skilled workers were assigned to simple tasks or because of untrained overtime. As a result, the labor cost was higher than expected. Next,
The provide variance highlight operational inefficiency, particularly concerning the use of labor and variable overhead resource. The labor efficiency variance was unfavorable because the production process required 1.8 hours per unit instead of the 1.5 hour standard. A likely consequence of poor material quality requiring rework machine breakdown causing delay on inadequate supervision training concurrently the variable overhead spending variance was unfavorable with the actual rate being $5.50 compared to the standard $5, suggesting potential issues such as increased utility cost, electricity, gas, or inefficient consumption of indirect supply. Crucially, the variable overhead efficiency variable is directly linked to the labor inefficiency since variable overhead is applied based on labor hour. The same operational problem that extended the labor time breakdown pool material also result in higher total variable overhead being included. Next.
And for the last one is corrective action from management. To address this variant, management must take immediate coordinate action. Procurement should investigate the higher material costs and source less expensive supplier without sacrificing quality. Production must urgently tackle the root cause of excessive material usage and significant labor inefficiency, as improved material quality could resolve both issues. Concurrently, labor scheduling must be optimized to reduce overtime, and machinery must be properly maintained to prevent disruption. Thank you for your attention.